Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of nftwins. Today we're bringing you a rags to riches story of a product that we absolutely love. We discovered it here and the story is super impressive. So guys, hope you like it and of course let us know in the comments below. Imagine moving to a new country with barely any money and then within a decade building a billion-dollar company that takes down industry giants. Sounds like a movie, right?
Well, this isn't fiction. This is the story of Chobani and its founder Hamdi Ulukaya, a Turkish immigrant who went from running a small dairy farm to completely changing how Americans eat yogurt. Today, we're breaking down how he did it, the battles he fought, and what every entrepreneur can learn from this insane journey.
He went from buying an abandoned yogurt plant for $700K with an SBA loan to taking on companies like Danone and General Mills. This is a story of risk, visions, and straight up hustle. So let's dive in. And of course, here we have the Chobani yogurts. That's how we ended up with this story. Because man, the Chobani yogurts are insane. Greek yogurt, flavor, toasted coconut vanilla, insane. Only 60 calories, 12 grams of protein. Definitely recommendable. And the Oreo, also fantastic. All right, back to the original story.
So before we get to Chobani, let's talk about the man behind it, Hamdi Ulukaya. He grew up in a Kurdish family in Turkey, where his family raised sheep and made cheese. He wasn't a businessman, he wasn't a food scientist, and sure as hell he wasn't rich.
And yet in 1994, he moved to the US for school. He barely spoke English, worked on farms, he struggled, but then one day, something unexpected happened.
Yeah, he got a letter in the mail. It was from the Kraft Foods. They were shutting down a massive yogurt plant in upstate New York. Hundreds of employees were losing their jobs, and Kraft, they didn't care.
Now, Hamdi had no experience in yogurt, but he knew one thing. American yogurt sucked. It was too sweet, too artificial, and honestly, nothing like the rich, thick yogurt he grew up eating in Turkey.
So he takes a massive leap. He takes out a loan, buys an abandoned Kraft factory for $700K, and hires just 5 employees. Everyone thought he was crazy. Yogurt wasn't a hot business. The industry was controlled by billion-dollar companies, but Hamdi, he had a vision.
He wasn't trying to make just another yogurt. He wanted to introduce America to Greek yogurt, a thicker, healthier, high-protein version of what was already on the shelves. And here was it getting wild.
Hamdi spent 2 years perfecting his recipe. 2 whole years. No revenue, no big marketing budget, just an immigrant in a factory obsessing over getting it right.
And then when he finally launched Chobani in 2007, something insane happened. People loved it. Well, grocery stores couldn't keep it on the shelves. Word spread like wildfire. No ads, no influencers. Just good yogurt that people were addicted to. And we definitely are one of them as well. They're insane.
Oh my god, hell yeah, they're so good. And here's where Hamdi made his next genius move. He didn't go after specialty stores, he went straight for mainstream grocery chains. He got Chobani into ShopRite and then Stop and Shop, then Walmart. And once it hit Walmart, game over. It became a national phenomenon.
By 2012, just 5 years later, Chobani was making $1 billion in revenue. That's faster growth than Facebook at the time. But here's the crazy part.
Damn.
Chobani wasn't just growing, it was completely wrecking the competition.
Big Food was asleep at the wheel. Danone and General Mills dominated the yogurt aisle for decades. And suddenly, this no-name immigrant brand was outselling them.
Dude, Chobani stole 50% of the Greek yogurt market by itself. And what did the giants do? They panicked. Danone launched, Oikos, General Mills rushed out with Coplite Greek, but they were late. Chobani already won the branding game.
And that's the thing, Chobani wasn't just a yogurt, it was a movement. It was healthy, high protein, natural, everything millennials and fitness freaks wanted.
But definitely fitness freaks for sure, loving it. But success brings problems. In 2013, Chobani hit a crisis. Some yogurt cups had mold issues. Customers freaked out, lawsuits happened, and it was a PR nightmare.
And that could have killed the company, but Hamdi didn't hide. He took responsibility, pulled products from the shelves, and personally apologized. It was a masterclass in crisis management.
Today, Chobani isn't just a yogurt company anymore. They are in oat milk, coffee creamer, plant-based stuff. They even tried to go public in 2021, but pulled back. Of course, COVID.
And let's not forget, Hamdi is one of the most generous CEOs out there. He gave stock ownership to all his employees, making many of them millionaires. He also hires refugees and invests in food sustainability.
Yeah, in 2016, he gave like 10% of all his shares to employees, which is crazy. All right, so the question is, can Chobani keep growing, or was Greek yogurt just a trend?
I think they still have a lot of room to grow. I mean, they build a real brand, and as long as they innovate, they'll stay relevant. But man, that's a wild ride. Well, think about it also. Additionally, they are not in Europe yet, really. I haven't seen them at all. It's just been in
Yeah.
North America.
And also, like the margins must be insane, like 150 for one yogurt like this. Pretty crazy. All right, let's wrap this up. What can we learn from Chobani, Mark?
Well, first, find a gap in the market. Chobani didn't invest in yogurt, just made a better version of what existed already. Second, be obsessive about quality. Hamdi spent 2 years perfecting the product. That's how you win. Third, take on the giants. He had zero experience, zero industry connections, but he still crushed $1 billion companies.
And that's how the story of how an immigrant with a 700K loan, SBA loan, guys, check it out, it's super awesome, changed the way America eats. And is a pretty badass, pretty sure at it.
Alright, before we go, what do you guys think? Can Chobani stay on top, or will it fade out? Let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram.
If you loved this episode, of course, subscribe, leave a review, and well, turn in for another crazy business story next week. So, see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.